I'm not talking because I was waiting for that red light, and you thought you was going to catch me.
Red light was coming.
I knew it was coming.
I wanted you to rant more about why you just, not that you hate sports, but you're just like, sports are just sports. You sound like Seth Rollins. I hate sports, but he just said he loves sports. I don't know what.
That's how I know the Bears score. I love football. I hate football.
The Bears? Is that his team?
Yeah.
Because they even asked CM Punk about like why can't they basically get along if they both like Chicago sports fans? And he's like, well, he's more of a this and
Yeah, it's only 3 of them, and one of them is Ben Walker. So.
Oh wow! Ouch. Okay, well, the red light is on, and we are taking shots early. We are choosing professional wrestling over real sports because you are tuned in to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. And if you couldn't tell by the title or the thumbnail, we are just a day after Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Is this infamous at this point? I don't know what you call it, but it's the PWI 500 list. And we have quite a bit to talk about. Now, the biggest question of the night is, gentlemen, did they get it right this year? We're going to find out all that and more. Let's get it.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!
If they basically get along, if they both like Chicago.
It's a really cool intro. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at The Wrestling Realm. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. You can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Also, you can download all of our audio content on Spotify. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Realm. I'm your host, with us, the real Dwayne Allen in the building. He is your host, conspicuous by his absence. Brother Hugh has a third, A to the A to the S, D to the H to the E, 3 to the R, to the D, who's not in the building tonight, but he is your host, not just any guy, but the belt guy, the belt king himself, the curator and creator of championship culture in Dragon Ball Z, boys. Brandon, the guy, and he is your host, the heart and soul, the creator, the founder, the inventor of the Wrestling Realm. Still, Mr. Steal Your Show. Brian H. Waters in the building. You guys like the little spin I put on the show tonight? A little bit of enthusiasm. You like that? Brother Guy got a kick out of Dragon Ball Z voice guy.
Yeah. Find out next episode on
Championship Culture. Will the guy finally unbox the belt he's been waiting for after 6 weeks? Find out next week. Oh boy. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you must be good fans of this show. And because you're good fans of the show, we have done something special for you. Psych! Head over to WrestlingRealm.com where you can get all of our Wrestling Realm merchandise and apparel. We're talking t-shirts, we're talking hoodies, we're talking mugs and more. All of that at WrestlingRealm.com. And you know what? If you just can't get enough of the Wrestling Realm, it's okay. We've got you covered as well. Head over to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/thewrestling_realm for all exclusive shows and bonus material. Please be patient. We are loading up. We have quite a few new ideas and concepts to create some new bonus material and content. So shout out to all our patrons. But guess what? You can subscribe on many different tiers. But most importantly, you can subscribe for just as low as Brian H.
$1. Just pay that one.
Just pay the one. So once again, patreon.com/thewrestling_realm. All exclusive shows and bonus material. And if you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, please contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Come. Put in the subject line advertising. We will send you out some rates, maybe do a little bit of negotiation. And if you are a good fit to partner with us, we will do so. So that is once again, contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Now, once again, the summer is just about winding down and the fall is vastly approaching. There is so much to come in the fall season, and we're going back indoors because the weather's going to change, but it's that awkward middle space. But there is a lot of shows, there's a lot of baseball. Well, just a little bit of baseball. Sorry, Brian H. We got football season, we got pro wrestling year round, we have so much concerts, all that good jazz. But SeatGeek has partnered with the Wrestling Realm, and you can use our promo code Wrestling Realm to save yourself $20 on any one-time purchase of $50 or more. So once again, we have partnered with SeatGeek, and we are proud to say that we can save you a few dollars. And if you're purchasing more than one ticket, trust me, you're probably going to pay $50 or more. It's not my fault, it's inflation. But once again, we are here to help. So save yourself $20 on tickets, any one-time purchase of $50 or more at SeatGeek.com. Once again, promo code Wrestling Realm, all caps, one word. You guys ready? This is the part we're supposed to play the DX music. Ladies and gentlemen, Championship Culture Season 3. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Championship Culture Season 3 is just a week away. The season premiere of Championship Culture is on the horizon, and Brother Hugh has a third. Mr. Super Producer and Brandon the Guy have reloaded for another action-packed belt culture, all that encompassed season full of championship culture conversations and much more. I'm enthused. So with that being said, now this is the part of the show for those who listen where Brother Hugh and Brother Brandon do like this mental rock, paper, scissors, because it's always mental. They just look at each other and say, are you going? Are you going? I wasn't going, you was going. And they have to make a decision on who is going to spill the beans about that current episode of Championship Culture. But because season 3 has not started yet, we have an official date as September 17th, right? I can't get it right today. It's okay. And
it's all right. We're gonna get through that.
No, trust me. I'm more than enthused about what's going on. But I think we have some information about what the first episode will actually be about. But it's not my place to do so. So, Brother Guy, this is your time to shine. Let's rock. I'm using all the radio voices is coming out today's show. So
you must have had a Mountain Dew or something. But ladies and gentlemen, as the realness said,
spring water.
Oh, that's what it was. Where's your gallon? You got your gallon next to you?
Man, cut it out. You think I don't?
There you go. Oh, it's on. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the realness said, Tuesday, Championship Culture comes back with season 3. And just like season 1, season 2, season 3 will bring you more and more things about these beautiful things that we call belts. And to kick off season 3, you want to do the honors or you want me to do it? We got a little preview for you. We have some special guests coming, and this is the first time I think we're going to reveal what the show is going to be about before the show. What? I told you season 3 was going to be different, and I'm surprised the realness hasn't cleared his schedule and said, I'm just going to come on because the show will be about championship belts, no longer the main attraction. Oh, buddy. Do we got some things to say? But more important than the title, we got some special guests coming. If you have TikTok, Instagram, any form of social media, just look for the Holy Podcast. And they're a group of guys that I'm going to say this. If you're a comic book fan, you know you have the Wrestling Realm and the main Earth universe. They are probably the equivalent to the Wrestling Realm in the 616 or the Ultimate Universe because it's a group of gentlemen that will make you say holy, and I'm going to just keep saying that. But as you can see, they will be on the show next week. And the topic will be, well, it's a question. Are the championship belts no longer the main attraction? And with that being said, tune in on Tuesday, 8 p.m., youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm, and you will see a live, I want to say debate. No, it's going to be a live show interaction. If you got some comments, if you got something to say, join us in the comments because trust me, we will interact with you. Back to you, Realness. Because I know you got notes already.
You like that, Brian H? He had a little broadcast spin to it. And back to you, John. Throwing it back to the studio. Yes. Well, thank you, Brother Guy, for advertising Championship Culture Season 3. Coming soon, September 17th, 2024. But if you want to catch that episode, which I'm extremely excited about, because this has a different layer to it. I see the depth of Championship Culture going to a different space in this season. But every Tuesday, 8 p.m., youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm playlist Championship Culture. So if you're going to catch up on all of Season 1, the bonus episode, Santa Guy.
You will not let that go. You will not let that.
That was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Season 2, all of episodes, and guess what? That'll get you right in the mental space to prepare yourself for Season 3, and it will get me in the mental space to once again say.
Notes.
So
already,
I am looking forward to it. Congratulations. You guys are rocking and rolling. This is I think this might be the biggest and baddest season that you have ever done. But as usual, the brothers are back here on a Wednesday as we record this show. Because we have a pretty big topic to discuss. Oh boy, is it controversial? I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. But this is going to be quite the comical conversation because we're three different wrestling fans with three different opinions. And tonight we're going to get to the nitty gritty of it because the people are waiting for the Wrestling Realm to discuss Pro Wrestling Illustrated's PWI 500 list. Now, we've always had these conversations internally and most recently externally, but now we're really going to really dig into it. So that is the main event of the show. So please. Okay, see the chat's already the chat is already starting to catch some steam. There's so much going on as it is, but we're gonna hold off on that conversation because that is the main event of tonight's show. No pun intended, Brian H. But every week we start our file show with a different segment called "What Did You Watch?" Where the brothers decide that let's open the floor with some general wrestling conversation where we get to sit back and just. What do we watch this week to get our minds and hearts prepared for this week's episode? So when you hear this sound, you know what time it is. So brothers, what did you watch? Brian H, brother guy, talk to your boy. What did you watch?
I hate lists. That's the list I do like. Oh shoot, that just threw me off.
That's what happens when you get distracted by the
brother fam. The reason I got blocked. But, man.
Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Number 3. No, number 2.
Wow. Okay.
But nah.
Is he still blocked you?
Yeah.
That's exactly why we call you.
Wow, I didn't even do nothing. Rest in peace, Terry. Shout out to Trey D. This week I watched that NXT show. First of all,
WWE week.
We talked about how dangerous that NXT parking lot is, right? So did you see the intro?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, my third favorite women's wrestler standing out there with the bat, waiting for the smoke. And I like that. Great storytelling, right? And this is what I said, like when I told y'all almost a year ago, future main eventer. Just understanding the character and where you at. Mm-hmm. You saw how, you just like everybody's coming in and saying, "No, I got a purpose." Literally waited all day because those time
spots in every scene,
different spots, 12, 2, and 4. But between that and whoa, okay. I gotta give a shout out to Chelsea Green.
Okay.
Because we see a match, Chelsea Green versus Julia, right? First thing you thinking is, all right, we know what's gonna happen. Chelsea's gonna come in, she's gonna give her first match, probably be about 10-minute squash, 5-minute squash. Nah, they put on a match, and to me, that's the best Chelsea Green match I've seen in the WWE ring. Like we
Like
knew Chelsea could go.
working.
Yeah, but we got to see her do both, like work that character. It was like everything all came together. We saw the wrestler, we saw the character. So I think like NXT, I really enjoyed it. But to me, that was like my favorite moment, just watching Chelsea Green shine because, you know, just probably about 2 months ago now, it was before SummerSlam, she co-hosted with Shoemaker on A Masked Man one day Kaz was out. And one of the things she said was she wanted to be the female Miz. Said you bring in a Cardi B who been talking all this wrestler stuff. Somebody got, you know, look up at the lights for her. And she wanted to be in that position. But so I was, you know, kind of expecting to see that in this whole thing with Julia, but we really got to see, and I had never really watched many Julia matches, to be honest with you, but I got to see her work and I got to see Chelsea Green work, and they went out there and put on a match that I'm like, Chelsea is her, bottom line.
It made you stand up and take notice.
Yeah, you know, and you don't always have to get the win, you know, and which she's shown that, you know, Money in the Bank, you know, she took that spot, but it's just like I think we've been seeing the greatness of Chelsea Green in these last few months, even though even though she's been a former women's tag team champion, we just seen like this past year, like this since she's been back. She's been like, she's taking every opportunity and maximizing every moment she has on television.
Bingo. I couldn't agree with you more. It's and that's to me, that's the kicker. She's a no excuse kind of a young lady, right? So it's like, it's not like she's been on your TV every week, but the times that she is on. And she has shown so much depth and so much range. And I'm just like, man, I thank God for the Triple H era because, you know, she's such an amazing talent that I didn't know she had her bag until she got released and she showed up in TNA. And I don't know who was in the ring talking. It might have been Gail Kim. I don't remember. And she interrupted me, and I was like, oh, wow, she's hilarious. She's kind of rude and, you know, but, you know, we're seeing a lot of that and we're seeing her grow and her depth. So I couldn't agree with you more, brother. This was a heavy week. This was a WWE week on USA. So there was a lot going on though. But is that all that tickled your fancy this week, Brian H?
Yeah, you know what? The announcement that Monday Night Raw is going to 2 hours, even though it's for the rest of the year.
We're going to discuss that. We'll lead off with that. Brother Guy, what did you watch, sir?
So I went down a similar rabbit hole, but it sparked from a conversation I was having with Brother Hugh, about Julia. He was like, he didn't know much about her, and I was trying to get the matches to recommend to him. And ironically, the first match that came up was Julia versus Mariah May. And I totally forgot that's what Tony Khan sees. He sees what Mariah May did in New Japan or Stardom. He saw that, and I was like, that's why he's pushing her. And it clicked in my head. I was like, was she ready for that main event spot? I don't know if we were ready to accept her in that spot, because like WWE has done such a great job with these women wrestlers from other promotions that they change them to fit the WWE style and become that star. Like we've seen it with Asuka, we've seen it with Kyrie, then Io, now Julia. The formula is working for them because when they get to that Raw SmackDown, it's so much better because of what they did. And when she came out at what was the PLE this weekend? What's the name?
No Mercy?
Yeah, when she came out, it just felt like a big deal happening. And then I went back and remember the 4-way with her, Deonna Purrazzo, and what is the other two women name? And TNA. Remember when they had the fatal 4-way match at Multiverse, the TNA one, when she was New Japan Strong Women's Champion? It was like, I forgot these matches existed. This is what Triple H saw. And I was like, they are clearly watching wrestling just like us, but now they're just picking their stars at that moment. So I was trying to recommend some of these matches. I was like, Julia really was turning up on the indies. And you could tell it was just that one thing missing. And I think she's going to get that in WWE because just from her entrance on Sunday, the match with Chelsea, giving her that dance partner of Chelsea, and I think that she's going to be the one to watch on the fastest track. Probably faster than Asuka, Io, or Kyrie, because he kind of took his time with them. But I think she's going to move faster than them. I think by the Royal Rumble, she'll be in it and she'll be a key player in it because she has a lot of those factors already. I think she just got to get her speaking part down because I feel like when she talked, it was like, gave her like the Shinsuke treatment, like just say this and don't say nothing else. So that's the only thing I think she's missing. But she's checking off all the boxes already. But if you go back and watch just put in YouTube, Julia, and just watch any of her matches, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. So you're saying that you think that most fans have kind of already familiar with her more than Asuka and a lot of the Japanese born wrestlers that came up like Asuka and Io and Kairi.
Because she had New Japan Strong behind her. They didn't have that. They only had Stardom. And you could you could be the biggest star in Stardom like Asuka was, Io and Kairi. You know, they just kept following each other's progression and they were all at one time there together. But now since we had New Japan Strong where they went to different parts of the world, she was able to be showcased. And it was like, even with the time in TNA for that match, it was like, we got exposure to her. And it's like, oh yeah, look what this is. Look what we got. Look what it is. And then she still feels like the same person. It's just a different presentation. Like when Shinsuke came, he felt like Shinsuke just with a WWE presentation.
Sure.
Mariah May is Mariah May in AEW, not knowing what she did in the past because Tony Khan sees Mariah May in in Stardom and all that stuff. We didn't get to see Mariah May except for AEW. So it's kind of like a detriment to her because I think she could have been a heavy hitter. I think he just pushed her too soon on us that we don't get it because she really is trying to find her character.
Okay, fair enough. It makes sense. Well, brothers, I got to say some things. Usually I like to sit back and hear what everybody has to say, but let me tell you what I watched this week that really caught my attention. I watched AEW All Out. Overall, good show. I enjoyed it. But can anybody guess what my favorite match on that card was? Come on, brothers. Talk to you.
Will Ospreay versus Pac.
Okay, that was easy. Will Ospreay versus Pac.
Because that was remember what I said about Will Ospreay? I'm back on the fence again. I'm back on the fence.
Okay. What are you back on the fence about? Let's start there. Because I'm going to say what I got to say. We're going to have this conversation. Then we got to move on to Raw, going back to 2 hours, because that's a big deal. And then we're going to jump right into the main event of the show, so we're not here all night. But go ahead, because I got to be very calculated about what I say, because I'm long with it.
And I'm going to just say this. Remember when me and you were having a debate about the placement of Will Ospreay on the top? I think it was like the top 10 or whatever. You was like, no, you wanted to put Gunther above, and I was adamant about it. And then I was like, after. Oh, yeah,
that's right. That was what was that conversation about? I
forgot we were picking, but I remember I was adamant about him. And I was like, all right, fine, you have Gunther, But I was adamant. I was so gun-ho on Will Ospreay. His AEW debut, I was like, this is not the same Will Ospreay. But then it was like, he kind of won me back. This match, I felt like it was.
He's everywhere. He's in tag matches, he's in title matches, he's in promos, he's in segments. I'm like, he's the new MVP of AEW right now.
He passed the 3-week push. He's actually, I'm surprised he's still being seen. And I think because you can have a bad match with Pac, but I just don't like, I hit you with so many moves and then you're okay the next few minutes. Like that's what kind of put me back on the fence.
Well, first of all, I'm offended by the statement that you made.
Which one?
Fact that he passed the 3-week push because my guy didn't pass the 3-week push, which was Jay White, and I'm offended by that. That bothers me.
But it's the truth. Where's Ricochet?
Yeah, he shouldn't have wore bell bottoms. Brian H, talk to your boy. Why did he wear bell bottoms? Looking like Andrade. Andrade wore dress pants and he wore bell bottoms. I said, bro, y'all are killing me. So yeah, it's terrible.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
I'm really not.
You're never gonna let that go.
Will Ospreay versus Pac. It's ridiculous. I was watching the highlights of All Out with Adam before I dropped him off to school in the morning. And after that match, he didn't want to watch anything else. And he's like, I don't want to watch this AEW stuff no more. And I just bust out laughing. I said, that's bad. He was like, I'm done. I said, can I at least get to the Daniel Bryan match? He's like, yeah, but he'd snap right back in the seat before it's time for him to get out the car.
You don't want to watch the show at all?
The problem was, I put on that first. I said, I need to go back and watch this again. And I was like, this Will Ospreay, and he watched. He's like, oh, I like that. But after that, he didn't want to watch nothing. He's like, all right, this ain't that. I don't like AEW. I don't want to watch AEW. You can just keep the Fortnite.
He didn't want to watch Willow and Chris. He didn't want to watch Willow and Chris Statlander.
He didn't watch anything. he was done. I said, damn, he wouldn't even wait. I was like, bro, you're not gonna let me just. He's like, You put the Fortnite video back on from there. I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, that match, I was like, man, that joint was really good. I was thoroughly impressed, and I said, you know, god dang what? I said the AEW does a lot of things right, and I'm probably going to do an entire show dedicated to all the great things that AEW does, because they give us these moments. The problem is the things that they don't do well, they don't do them very well. But I just wanted to say, most importantly, the positives. Will Ospreay versus Pac. Really, really good stuff. My problem is these guys aren't in contendership for the AEW world title. Here's what I don't get about AEW sometimes. How do you have so much main event talent, but then you have like world title matches with like Daniel Bryan versus Jack Perry, and it's like,
you mean Jungle Boy?
It's no disrespect to Jack Perry. I'm not saying it was the wrong move. I'm saying, like, I don't get, like, you claim to have a wrestling organization, but then like the world title matches are always gimmick matches, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is like, you have all this global talent on the one roster. You have Daniel Bryan, you have Adam Cole, who can't stay healthy, you got Kazuchika Okada, you know, you have, like, you know what I mean, you have Pac, you have all these guys that should be in the world title picture at some point because they were in the world title picture elsewhere. You got Jay White, you got Pentagon, you got all these, like wait a minute, they got enough. Like, they got enough to go toe to toe with WWE in the main event scene. And you got John Moxley, you had Kenny Omega, you got Christian, you got so many former world champions, and they're just like spread out doing other things. And I get it. You want them to work with younger talent and stuff like that, but like, just like, you don't even have any fun matchups that make you go, okay. Samoa Joe, couldn't forget him. Like, you have all these main event world champions on your Raw, and they barely have touched each other. They barely got in the ring with each other. But like I said, I will discuss this at a later date because what I did watch, I enjoyed. But Brian H brought up something very valuable. This has been WWE week. This has been transition week, right? WWE programming is going through as a bit of a shift, right? We have a change in television networks. We have a change in how we see our weekly television, right? We're on the cusp of WWE transitioning into a Netflix deal, which is the first time we've ever seen it. But streaming is the new TV. It's taken over, right? But they also made the announcement once again that Raw will return to 2 hours. Now, I know we had a discussion before about, hey, Raw being 3 hours was a lot to do. I enjoyed it because I can't get enough of wrestling, but a lot of people say it was tough to navigate through. But Brian, you mentioned it before. You heard that it's going back to 2 hours. We had conversation. You said you were the one that said give it like, what'd you say? You said give it the first, what you said, give it like the first 30. It wasn't the 30 days. It was, you said something, and I was like, give it a certain amount of days, and we'll see what happens. And you said after that, I'm going to judge it to see whether it's legitimate or not. Something to that degree. Do you remember that conversation?
No.
Well, maybe it wasn't you. I could have swore it was you. Maybe.
I mean, you know, I don't remember.
It was a conversation about, like, people the conversation at the time, I believe, where people were saying, like, is this really going to work out? And everybody's like, well, give it 3 months. You can't judge it by the second week.
Oh, when it first went to 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's coming back to you. It was a while ago.
Because we wow. To show you how long the show been around. We did a show the day
That's
after.
what I thought. Yeah, I thought we did something to that degree. So
because they did the Raw special. It was Raw 1000.
That's
when they moved up.
The crazy part is I had the number 1000 in my head. I was like, I don't think he said give it 1,000 days because that makes no sense. But that's probably why in my mind I had this number 1,000. See how when you tap into the buttons of the memory. So now we're here and Raw's changing. How do you feel when you found out that the show was going from 3 hours back to its original 2 hours? So I'm assuming Raw is going to be on from 8 to 10 going forward on Netflix.
I think it's gonna be. I felt. Whoa! I don't remember which button was which. Excited. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Why is that?
Yeah,
why excited?
Because 3 hours is a long time. That third hour drags, right? And all right. Last summer, I took the kids to Raw, And I remember, you know, it was a summer night. They was happy, but it was like, you know, kind of like watching the spots, and it felt like we was there because you figure you're there longer, so it felt like we was there for 4 hours. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Not including dark
And
matches and post shows like 205 Live.
yeah. And I know when it first happened, everybody was excited. It was like, okay, more people gonna be on the show, longer matches, a couple more promos. And sometimes it do feel like you get a chance to fill in a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
but I mean, it's still like a long night. Like you don't realize how short SmackDown is, or NXT for that matter, until you. But because it just stuff be happening and it just moves faster. So I'm excited
Right.
about that. It's kind of crazy because like Raw is telling some of the greatest storytelling it's done. I would say in the past year, it's probably been like some of it. Out of 3 hours years,
Mhm.
with the exception of the time, like with the exception of the time when like the Bloodline was around full time, right? And Roman and them was like running havoc on everybody. And then, you know, obviously like with the Sammy stuff, but it's this era has probably been the best of the
Okay.
3-hour Raws. And it's like, man, y'all could have did this. Obviously they wouldn't have, but it's like y'all should have did this during the time when SmackDown had AJ Styles and Raw was kind of like the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins show. Like you could have cut it then, you know what I
The
mean?
Triple H show.
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall, I'm really excited about it because
Did you
it
just
will
hit your
move
knee?
faster. Yes.
Like on Martin when he hit his knee when he's doing a dance. Pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it. Ah, hit my knee.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm excited about it. I do think because all the stuff they're doing, I really believe they can tell all of those stories
Within 2
in
hours.
2 hours. Yeah,
Got it.
you know. And then you still got NXT. So when you got people on the roster that may not be doing much, like you see what they did with the Good Brothers, you know, spring them on to NXT a little bit. NXT is going to be on, you know, now it's the only program next year around this time. It's going to be the only WWE programming that's on network television. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, you can throw them over there.
Yeah, WWE is cheating. I just realized what they did. I'm gonna get my 2 cents up after Brandon tells us what he feels about Raw going back to 2 hours, because I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's you got a good point, especially with, like you said, the way they're doing NXT now, the way they did it when they first started it, where like main roster people showing up, and it keeps you relevant, right? And they also can work with younger talent and go back without any hiccups, or like if guys need reps,
Even
you know
like
what I mean?
yesterday, the Profits, right?
Yep.
No way in the world they should have lost that match. And
Sure.
but it made sense. Had a bloodline come in,
How they
take
did
them
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's boom. Now you can say, okay, you had the bloodline on NXT. This is why you should tune in, because you never know what's going to happen. Even your boy Hammerstone.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that's a Brother Guy's guy. Brother Guy's guy. Brother Guy. How do you feel about Raw going back to 2 hours?
I love it. And this is now a chance for the tag teams to make more money.
Enthusiastic about this.
And
let me say why though. Like, I'm like 3 hours. Who gets it's an extra hour of wrestling? But you guys
well, this is why.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
And this is why the tag team I'm talking about is your tag team, Nick Khan and Triple H. That was the most business strategic. Yeah, that's the most strategic business move ever. Because guess what they just did? They sold more tickets for Monday Night Raw to parents, because now they don't have to worry about keeping their kids out to 11 on Monday.
Yes.
They can do it on Friday, where it's 3 hours leading into the weekend. They're going to crush Rampage because they're going to have that 3 hours of programming on SmackDown, right? And now
is 3 hours on SmackDown?
Is the SmackDown moving to 3 hours on the USA Network?
Brian H.
What, SmackDown?
Yeah. Stay 2 hours, right?
2 hours. Yeah.
Oh, staying 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So now think about this. You open the door for a network special on Netflix when you want to run something on a Monday, right? You also make it to where the point now you don't have to make a decision. Do I stay up, watch on my DVR? No, I can watch it in real time. And they can do stuff on Netflix where I can watch the history of the the Intercontinental title, and then see the match on Raw. Or the post angle of what happened when Raw went off, or let me give you the recap of why we got to this point, or why did such and such turn on them. Look at the history now on Netflix. It's going to open up so many other avenues pre and post Raw for people to fill that hour void, but when they get ready. Because now I can go watch Raw for 2 hours uninterrupted, get the impactful stuff. Think about it. If it's the first hour, well, I don't know, because there's I keep hearing stuff about commercials, but just like they did this Monday, the first hour was no commercial. It flew past.
And they announced it, yeah.
It flew past, and it felt like you were watching almost like pay-per-view level quality stuff. And it was like, this is why we don't see certain things on the 5-card PLEs, because he's giving it to us on Raw and SmackDown. He's giving us this impactful things, and now we're going to have the 2 hours. It's just going to free up them to be creative in other ways.
Yeah,
so
true. No, it's actually pretty genius when you put it that way, because when you look at it, I was trying to like the cross branding of everything, and then even like you said, from a business perspective of that 2 hours, I'm like, dude, that's actually, I never thought about that, but it's like, well, that kind of makes sense. Like I said, that 8 to 10 window. But yeah,
think about it. And here's this is what I thought about it. If Raw is in DC, that means I'm not getting home till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, because if the show's over 11, they probably not gonna give me a dark match. It's gonna take me 45 minutes to an hour to get from the traffic, and then I still got to drive home. So now I'm going to say to myself, you know what? I might go to Philly for Raw, because I can still get home in a decent hour. I can travel somewhere, and if you think about it, if us three think like that, wrestling fans are probably thinking like that, because usually wrestling is within a amount of drive on Monday that we could get to. Now that makes us easier with these life decisions of saying, oh man, if I go to Raw, I got to leave at this time to get there, but then I'm not getting back home. It just is strategic. It's probably going to have them have more live gate sellouts than just having to announce wrestlers. It's going to be out of nature. More people are going to go now because they don't have to be there as long.
Yeah, that's a key factor that I didn't even factor in my own goddamn self, but that makes a ton of sense. But with that being said, how did you guys feel about the Bloodline showing up without Solo? They look pretty solid without him. Do they? I said, oh wow, look at these guys. Look at these three, huh?
They fit together well. They look like a trio
on their own.
They look like a trio.
I don't know.
And that title match, is it on Bad Blood? It's on SmackDown. What's happening on Bad Blood?
Let's ask the resident Bloodline guy. How do you feel about the Wish version of the Temu Bloodline on NXT without Solo? I'm not. This wasn't in the sheet. I just noticed it. I was like, oh wow, look at these guys. They look like there's their own thing going on here.
Yeah, I mean, they are stars, so it's good to see them shine. I don't acknowledge Solo as the tribal chief.
Oh, okay.
So,
but do you acknowledge them as a bloodline?
Yeah, they stole the bloodline.
Okay, all right. Just check.
Bloodline. We got some problems right now, and we're gonna get it fixed. But make no mistake about it, But nah, seriously though, I thought that was good. It's good for business. It was a no-win situation, no matter which way you look at it, right? If you go back, it was a no-win situation. This bloodline was going to be looked at in high regards as the other one, and it never was supposed to, But when the time comes, like for them to do stuff like this, showing up on NXT, showing strong, I think everybody likes making a joke out of Tonga Loa, and I think at this point, like he probably just embraces it. But
about being Camacho,
and botching and everything, and just
this time is a little off.
Yeah, it seems a little off, but I just think it's all I think the whole thing with the bloodline is it's good for business. You know what I mean? Because make no mistake about it, still one of the hottest stories. I was watching Undertaker and Kane on was it 6 Feet Under part with Mark Calloway.
And is that new?
Yeah.
I need to go. I need to listen to that one. I like Taker's podcast.
Yeah, so they was on and they talked about the Undertaker Kane story is the greatest story ever told, and I'm like, it is from a fictional standpoint. Like, if you're talking about from a writing, like picking up the pen and we could do this and we could do that, where I think the bloodline story is it's still writing, but I think it's the greatest story in wrestling as far as the depth of it. You know what I mean? and you look at it from the beginning, and then the stars that's going to be made out of it. Because like the NWO could have been doing this if they didn't bleed to death, and bringing on so many people. If they would have kept the NWO smaller, or just the former WWF guys, you could have made or got all these guys newer runs, perhaps singles career. But you look at what the Bloodline story did for Jey Uso. Jimmy's going to come back soon. Then you look at what it's doing for Solo right now, and then Jacob, and then Cody Rhodes trying to plant seeds. So overall, I like it. I like him trying to take control because it's also a test of loyalty. Because Jacob getting in the ring, like, first of all, you don't listen to anybody else. You listen to me. So now you got to reprove yourself.
Would you guys? I keep going. I can't help it. I'm a wrestling fan. How would you guys feel if we find out that them showing up at NXT wasn't directed by the Tribal Chief?
Oh, that would be even better.
Would that be like Solo going like, I appreciate, how Solo do promos. I appreciate what y'all did on NXT, but I just want to know who gave you them orders because I didn't, and I'm the Tribal Chief.
Jacob Fatu, step up. Who told you to go to NXT? Tongaloa, my MFT, step up. Tongaloa, just stand there and figure out hold the belt. Hold the belt. Just hold the belt.
Flip it upside down. That's the question. Do you find that stuff offensive, Brother Brandon? When he held that joint up, it was upside down. Like, dude, come on. That's the hard camp.
It didn't become offensive until Jade did it. I said, come on, Jade. Come on now.
We'll see.
I was like, come on. It was funny when he did it because I expected it from him. But Jade, you are a mega star. You know how to hold the championship.
I'm not going there with Jade. I dealt with this with the four sides of the rings and those brothers. When they called them the Power Buff Girls, I almost died.
Yeah, he definitely called it Power Buff. I was like, the Power Buff Girls. No, what they call them? Fraxium.
Right.
Remember Fraxium?
Fraxium. That's the name. It's like a relationship tag thing.
I was like, what? But no, I expected it from him.
WWE is his cornered the market. Like I said, the tag champs of Triple H and Nick Khan, they should be on the list of the PWI 500 at some point. Because don't do like a 100 tag teams list.
Yeah,
they should be at the top of the list.
Matter of fact, we're gonna post that to Kevin right now.
Please do.
Shout out to Kevin, PWI.
Yeah, but because these guys, it's. You mentioned something, Brother Brand, and I think you did too, Brian Nation. You said, if you look at it, we're going into such a business-minded sense of WWE programming that we've never experienced before. So we're going to have a program on network television and on the CW with NXT. We're going to have some programming on cable television in a loyal network in USA with SmackDown. And then WWE is going to be the first one to kind of be the first, the pioneers, to take their weekly, the longest reigning episodic show to a streaming platform. So it's like, you mean to tell me they're about to dominate 3 different forms of media category based off television programming? And I say based off television programming because Netflix is a streaming platform versus network television versus cable television, and they work. Cable and network work, similar with each other, but streaming is a different plat. And I'm like, well, what's next? But the fact that we're going into 2025 with WWE and network, cable, and streaming is like, okay, I see where their heads are, and this is about to get really going. I don't know what AEW is doing as far as their TV deals or non-exclusive deals. There's rumors and stuff going on. Fox has some advertising they want to put on, something similar that they have, but what they were getting back from advertising wasn't what they were paying the WWE at the end of the day. So they're like, well, we need some type of something. We need the same audience. But like I said, I don't know if the Warner Brothers non-exclusivity to Warner Brothers deal, I guess, are we going to lose the TNT championships and TBS championships if that's the case? Who knows?
Probably, right? They'll probably rebrand it.
Well, I'm assuming so. If they're non-exclusive,
you're going to just change the name. They're going to become the Tony Khan Championship.
The FS1 and the FS2.
It'll just be the Tony Khan Championship.
There you go, the TK Championship.
See, that's why I was never a fan of naming those titles after that, though.
I wouldn't either. I was like, that makes no sense to me. But TNT paid. I felt like they paid for it though. Like, okay, well, this comes your package. You get a belt,
Yeah, it's just.
Or if he would have used a what is it called when it means something else, like like remember when Trish TNA and she had Testin Albert, but everybody knew what it really meant. If they would have came up with a clever, yeah, that's what it's called. Thank you. I couldn't think of if he would have did something like that.
But they're TV titles though, so like, why don't you just call them the television championship? I know it's old school. I get it. I know we got a digital media championship, and we got a but I never thought we would have network titles. I'm okay with it because I actually have one myself.
So he has a television championship in ROH. He could have just called it the AEW television title.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but I don't know. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot we can have to discuss. But the most important thing we have to discuss is what the meat and potatoes, the main event of tonight's show is, gentlemen. We have to finally get into this list.
Da-da-da-da.
This is the if you haven't noticed, this is the graphic I put together. So we're here to talk about Pro Wrestling Illustrated's look at that, 34th annual PWI 500, and obviously Cody Rhodes has made the #1 list, and he made a quote like, if any wrestler tells you that they don't care about this list, they're lying to you, because we all care about it. Cody Rhodes is Mr. Transparency, but we have to discuss
quarterback.
Well, you know him. He Captain America. Can't you see by his jacket? And Brownish, that's a comic book character. I just want you to keep up. Just like Brother Brandon doesn't know about sports. I'm in the middle. Like
I know who Captain America is. John Cena.
Oh my gosh. He said, I know who Captain America is. It's John Cena. No. Baltimore Comic-Con, 22nd to the 24th, Brian H. We gotta get you in the building. No, we gotta get
the 22nd for the costume contest. We gotta take them. I think. Let me look at it. I think it's the 22nd. It's a costume contest.
You can go to Baltimore Comic-Con. We gotta get you.
Would it be cheeks?
There's always. Come on now. It's always. But no wrestling for you, buddy. All comic books, all Marvel, all DC. Brother Guy will be there to translate everything.
So wait,
they're gonna translate.
So there's gonna be like ladies dressed like Kung Lee and Katana.
Of course.
First off, her name is Chung Lee, not Kung Lee. Who the heck is Kung Lee?
I did mean Chung Lee. You know what it is? Because hold on. Yeah,
he's looking for a game. Look at him.
Freaking Street Fighter 5 was so terrible that like I played it and then I put it down and didn't want to play it no more. And then
you should have stopped going after Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So
that was the best one, but
it was
that I thought they was gonna have a nice run on PS4. See,
gotcha.
Mortal Kombat gets better every time,
Okay. Well, like I said, we got to get you there. Baltimore Comic-Con.
I'm all right. If I go,
go ahead.
Y'all gotta go to a quartet program.
I go to quartet programs.
No, I was gonna say that's nothing.
Nah, y'all went to one of mine. Y'all gotta go to them ones where everybody wearing the zoot suits.
Oh my goodness, the Chitlin Circuit Quartet.
And the songs are 37 minutes long.
Acting like divas. Yeah, them just be one song, 40 minutes long.
You were like, I done went to the bathroom. I done had a whole plate and came back. They on the same song. Like, ain't no way. How many encores is this? Wait a minute, they still was soloing?
Usually the soloist goes off. It's like 30 minutes of their own ad libs, and then they finish the song up. They start the song,
and then you just see the director like this with his hands. I'm like, 30 minutes. I'm waiting.
And of course, the man on the bass just letting it rip. With his face crunching like this.
And the drummer that stopped it, he just hitting tabs. So he's like, I'm gonna come back in. I'm like, no, he's still going. Okay.
Brian A's got to switch the drumsticks because he didn't bang on the drumstick so hard. The thing that popped off. You know how they do. They just reach down and they get right back to it. So we'll go to the quartet if you agree to go to Comic-Con. It sounds like a deal. Are the Commanding Shepherds or the Mighty Clouds of Joy going to be in attendance? Okay, we'll talk about that off the air.
Don't say no more.
I want them to come out of retirement.
And if you hear them, if it ain't Eddie Williams, I don't want to hear him. Because
Eddie Williams and my Uncle Richard can get up there and still do it. Because my uncle sang somebody's funeral recently. I said, "Oh, Uncle Richard still got it."
There you go. He goes, yeah. And Pops would be like, yeah. Me and Richard, we did that thing back in the day. See, they'd be good, but the ones that came after them, it was
not the copycats, not the copycats. So as long as
kick them out the group, man.
as long as we got the original quartet members and you stop calling John Cena Captain America, I think the realm is in good space.
Oh, yes.
He
like
really
that dog.
he really said, I know who Captain America is. It's John Cena. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, Captain America is Cody Rhodes, who landed the #1 spot on this year's 34th annual PWI 500 list. First of all, brothers, what you think about this list? Now, if you're not watching and you're listening, we have currently on the graphic, we have the first 25 picks, mainly because that's all could fit on the graphic. But yes, we have the first 25 picks of the PWI 500.
And for
Today,
those that, I'm gonna drop the link to the whole list.
Oh, please do. So just so they can keep up. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We're going to talk about, for the most part, the top 10, and we're just going to get everybody's views about how they felt about this year's list. Anything that stood out to them, deserved, undeserved. We're not going to be here all night. I promise you that. But we got to get into the gist of it, because some people may feel like it may be a little controversial. Clearly, no Roman in the top 25, and the criteria by which these things are voted on and agreed upon. We're going to see if the realm is in the same space as those who made these decisions. So first and foremost, brothers, what you think about this list when you first saw it? Of course, the top 10 is the one thing that jumps out to everybody as soon as they saw it. But how do you guys feel about PWI's 34th annual PWI 500 top 10 list?
My first thought was Seth Rollins should be number 3. But that's literally my first thought. But then I think driving around today, and I thought about the show, and I said, I get it, because he did like right at the fifth quarter, like the fourth quarter of this, he did take that time off. He was pretty much gone after WrestleMania, so I can understand. But other than that, I was satisfied. I think Samoa Joe may been a surprise. I probably would have liked Drew up there a little bit more. Not just because, but obviously understand his wins and losses, but Drew found a way to keep himself relevant,
without having to be world champion.
Without the world title, even before like the stuff with the Judgment Day, when he was like, not a part of it, but he had the issues going into War Games.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, everybody was teasing like, wait a minute, why is he being so chummy with Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, so I think he found a way to keep himself relevant after falling short to Gunther at SummerSlam last year for the Intercontinental title. And felt bad for him because that match was better, but him and Gunther were clearly upset because Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler went into business for themselves the match before, and he was like, they killed the match. They took the crowd out of it, But he just found it like between that, and then obviously he just kicked it into high gear after the Royal Rumble. After Punk was hurt,
he reinvented himself.
Yeah, he did. And the thing is, he's telling a different story than your typical heel, because you listen to him, he's not a heel. He's just, he don't like Punk.
Yeah.
And the girl who made the bracelet.
Yeah, well, look at his heel work when he came in as kind of the stereotypical menacing big guy. He was the Scottish psychopath, to like the depth of who he was then as a heel versus him being a heel now. It's just a completely different character. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Brother Brandon, how did you feel about this year's list?
Well, first, I always got to go back and say, all right, what was the time frame that they made the list?
That's what I'm always wondering myself.
Yeah, I'm like, what was the? And then I gotta go, and I gotta go back and think of like, all right, last year.
You said from what, Brian H? I'm sorry.
June to June.
Okay, you hear that? You got that, Brother Brandon? Did you know that?
I thought it was August. They started it from August to June or whatever.
Nah, that's way too quick to turn around for print.
No, I'm saying August of last year they started until June, and then July they printed out. No, I mean they put it together.
They still got. I always thought there was 12 months because of the fact. I guess I should say July to June, because they still got to factor in and not lose a month.
See, let's say the evaluation period is August 31st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024.
Okay.
Well,
I meant July, not June.
Yeah.
August. I was like, all right, so what happened? So in my mind, I'm like, what happened from SummerSlam of last year until, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, think back. And the second thing I thought was, New Japan, what happened? You fell off. And then the third, I felt bad for Hugh because I was like, oh man, no Nick Nemeth at all. But they gave us Moose. I was like, why would you put him on there? And I was like, even with him being the champion, you mean to tell me? Oh, I'm sorry, Nick Nemeth was on there. He was lower than the top 20.
22.
Yeah. I was like, and why is Moose above him? I was like, even Alex Shelley, Orange, everybody else under Moose, I was like, yeah, just put Moose a little further down. I'd have been perfectly fine with it. But as far as the top 10, it's debatable because when you go back and think from SummerSlam on, I don't think MJF should have been that high because he was gone in the third quarter. You might as well say it wasn't around like third or fourth quarter. We breaking it down. He was gone. You know, and I'm like, he really was that high. Same thing for John Moxley. He took his break. And y'all know how I feel about Moxley. And I was like, certain people, like, you got Eddie Kingston on there too. Like, you know, I was just like, those are the people
Eddie Kingston had a good year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not the biggest.
He talked a good year. Yes, he talked a good year. He talked a fiery promo all the time that he was there.
He was a Continental champion. He was Ring of Honor champion. He was another AEW something champion. I don't know what the third one was. What was the third one?
You know what it was? The Continental, the ROH, and what else? New Japan Strong.
That's what it was. There you go. I was about to say maybe he was a tag champion or something, but New Japan Strong.
But I was like, I get Swerve because I remember I was like, from SummerSlam on, he jumped into the spotlight, which makes sense. And it was just like, some of these people I couldn't get with, but I'm like, I get where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Because my personal feelings aside, MJF was holding down AEW last year this time when we really think about it. Damian Priest was up and coming. He was the, Money in the Bank. He was the Wooly Won't He type of deal, and that was his whole focus on his briefcase. And I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense, but I didn't understand certain ones like Moose, and that's Eddie Kingston.
They got Moose over Sonata. Like, say yes,
Thank
Sonata.
you.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you. Now you see what I'm saying. No, more important. Look who's right above Moose. You mean to tell me Moose is right under Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he was probably out a lot because I think he's out again. Is into neck injuries, and he wrestled
with a broken arm, didn't he? Like he wrestled, and for Zack Sabre Jr., wasn't he lower in the list too? He was like where's Zach? He was like lower, and I was like, dang, they kind of did him grimy.
I always like to look at cage match for source with stuff like this. It can be difficult, but that's what I usually because. I'm like, well, why is this person? And because I guess that's what it comes down to sometimes, just that win-loss record. But I still, I'm with y'all. I don't agree with Moose. First of all, just to say Moose over Jey Uso, that doesn't even sound right.
Yo, that doesn't even make
that doesn't feel right. Moose over Orange Cassidy. Remember, Orange Cassidy made us pay attention to the International All-Atlantic Championship last year this time. You get what I'm saying? Like, Moose didn't do anything but hold the title. He took it from Josh Alexander and then dropped the title. Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't make me want to watch TNA. Orange Cassidy at least made me want to say, all right, what is he going to do in AEW?
Why is Frankie Kazarian over Big Bronson Reed?
Frankie Kazarian, because remember, he had his resurgence. Remember last year this time, he was more important than Big Bronson. He was more important than Big Last year this time, he was back in the limelight. Big Bronson Reed was in and out. Remember, he was getting heated up before Perth, and then he had him and his wife had the baby. He just started heating back up again.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, how about that? Your boy, brother Brandon's another one of his favorite wrestlers, and Brian AJ Francis is at 126 over Ray Phoenix at 135, and Ray Phoenix.
Man, did you not see his Instagram post?
What does that have to do with the PWI 34 man?
He just told y'all it's not 125 wrestlers better than him.
It's not. Wait a minute, you say it's not 125 wrestlers better.
What do you mean better?
I feel like that's a Jedi mind trick. Wait a minute. I gotta wait. There's not 125 wrestlers better than that.
Reverse psychology. I knew this was going to happen. The minute I said, brothers, we're going to talk about it, I knew this is a crazy part. It's like, sure, we're going to respectively talk about the top 10. But some of this stuff is just like, well, they just add names like David, like Joe Henry. Joe Hendry is at 51. Ron Breaker is at 52. Obafemi is at 53. Max the Impaler is at 54. Randy Orton is at 55. AJ Styles is at 56. Claudio Castagnoli, Cesaro, 57. Kevin Owens at 58. Like, are you kidding me?
No, wait a minute. You missed the important one. Josh Alexander was 43. 40. Moose is better than Josh Alexander.
EC3 is over Josh Alexander because of his NWA run.
Because he's been NWA champion since 1942. Hangman Adam Page. Yep, David Finlay is only 49. Don't you think David Finlay should have been up a little further? Finlay. And Zack Sabre Jr. is 33. He was Mark Briscoe. Yes, he's had the best year.
Yeah, but well, okay, no, wait a minute now. Don't talk about chicken. Let's talk about Mark Briscoe.
No, I'm saying, hey, he's 31.
Is this the highest he's ever been rated? At least on the singles, the 500 list.
Mark Briscoe? This might be the first year he made it to the singles. Is it?
I don't know. Like I doubt it. He used to have a couple. He had a really good singles run. When he had his hair long out. And remember, he was a TV champion in Ring of Honor, and his brother was a world champion at one point. They had during that era of
14. I mean,
that was
14, 15.
Yeah, it had to be around that era.
Shoot, sorry.
No, you good. He had a good run around there. Tetsuya Naito at number 5. Brother, he will be excited about that. Nick Nemeth at 20.
Hey,
now here's the part that's throwing me off. What you about to say, Brian H?
Yeah. People like using my word. I'm saying it like I made it up, but the word aura has been coming up a lot. After I said after I said a certain person didn't have it.
Who's that?
I mean, Okada. The Okada that I know would not be ranked below.
I was ready to ask you that. How do you feel about Okada being ranked like for the first, not for the first time ever, but the 21?
Yeah, like I'm used to him being top 20 easily.
Yeah, like
certain people just shoe in like Seth Rollins. With Seth Rollins, Moxley, you used to them top 15 all the time, regardless, right? Roman, if he was full time, but Okada was one of them dudes. Mm-hmm. Even your boy at one point was one of them dudes, Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Not today.
It's unreal. It's Eddie Kingston over Katsuko Okada. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know, man. This is throwing me off. Like I said, Jay Uso at 17 doesn't seem like.
And this is after Backlash.
Carmelo Hayes, you see his number.
I don't.
48.
He's him.
Look who's above him though. Trick Williams at 28. Is that me?
Oh. Yeah, I think so. I think somebody's calling you on your rotary phone. Hello. Hello, Commissioner. Hello, Commissioner. This is Batman. The Joker. What? Mystico at top 10. How do you feel about Mystico being in top 10? Did he have a good year in Mexico?
I don't know. I feel like they always try to slip in somebody from Mexico just to say,
top
hey,
10,
you can work over here. I feel like that. I feel like it's always somebody from Mexico and New Japan.
I think he's doing the big thing over there, isn't he?
Well, Mystico is former Sin Cara, right? Well,
Yeah.
That was the how they can own the gimmick and put whoever they want to under the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the original Sin Cara goes by like Mr. C's because he doesn't own the gimmick of Mystico. You guys like Adam Coulter at 26 over LA Knight at 27?
No.
Logan Paul at 37. Honestly, I thought Logan Paul would have made it up higher. I really thought he would have been higher.
I was gonna say Copeland did win a championship, but he didn't have any matches.
Adam Copeland?
Yeah, the TNT title.
Remember, he was TNT champion.
Nobody remembers that.
Yes, you do.
2 times, right?
Technically, he had it for like 3 seconds, and then Christian took it back from him. Then he beat him again.
Yeah.
Right. That's
And
the
then
part I
jumped off
remember.
the wall.
So how do
But
you
did y'all-
guys, this doesn't make sense to me. This is Ricochet at 63 and Dirty Dominic Mysterio at 69. How is that even
I don't like
possible?
that.
They gave
How is
him
that even
69 on
possible?
purpose. Dirty Dom
Oh,
got 69 on purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, never mind. Because they got Dirty Dominic Mysterio at 69. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Never mind.
they did that. They did that on purpose.
Because Dom had a top 50 year. He had the most
That's what I'm
matches,
trying
the
to
third
say.
most matches. He didn't lose all of them. He was north of no, that was
Yeah, that was last year.
it was okay.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that last year?
I want to say it was within this ranking period, right?
I thought it was. I think he lost it at the end of it because Oba is coming up on, he's going to beat Wesley's record of 200 and something days.
Mm-hmm.
So before him was Dragon Lee, right? And then because Dragon Lee got it off of Mysterio after he did the exchange back and forth with Trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was after Summer. I don't remember. It's been a long year.
Yeah. Wrestling is one of those. So much happens in such a short time. It's like, bro, there's no way in the world you can keep up with half the stuff that happened from
I always
freaking August
say,
to July.
I always say though, like I always like to give give gratitude to people for putting this together because I know it's tough. You got sheets and keeping up with all the win-loss record. I'm still going to disagree with a lot of this stuff, but shout out to Kevin and all the good people over there at PWI because also keeping the wrestling magazine alive.
I was about to say, well, first and foremost, they're keeping it alive in a world where magazines. They might be the last of the Mohicans.
Mm-hmm. At least over in the United States.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Of course, in the United States, because we're not in the reading here.
Dirty Dom had it in July to September, and then he got it again October. He had it from July 18th, 2023 to September 2023. Trick had it for a week, and then he got it back from October to December. So he had it
number 69.
He should, because that was it, and then he lost to Dragon Lee in December.
Yeah, and then he got hurt because he got hurt right in December.
Yeah, because he was out for Mania technically, right? No, he came back and wrestled it. Did he come back? What did he do? No, he didn't do anything in Mania, did he? Yes, he did. In that multi-man match. Because Ray beat him again.
Oh, yeah. That's when Andrade got his WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
Chad Gable at 89. Is that possible? There's no way in the world. There's no way in the world Chad Gable, as many matches. I mean, I unless you're saying because he lost majority of those matches.
It's got to be.
Bless you.
At this point.
Right. But like if you get more popular even in losses, like doesn't that count for something?
Yeah,
but why is Jericho 90? But why is Jericho right under him at 90? Jericho needs to be 500.
Because of the learning tree. You kidding me?
He needs to be 500.
In his airbrush abs.
Meanwhile, Jacob Fatu is under Jericho. That need to be switched.
Now, see, I figured that because he was still, hitting the pavement a little bit during his indie run. Darby Allin at 97 under Matt Riddle and Javon Evans at 95. I don't know about that. Darby Allin's been pretty active all year.
But remember, he got hit by the bus and then he lost his dad Sting. So he was having a rough year.
Wow. Okay.
Yo.
Yep.
Is Sting on the list? Not Sting not on the list.
You said who?
I was saying Sting.
Yeah.
Steve Macklin is 101.
Yeah, Steve Macklin.
He cooled off a lot. He cooled off a whole lot.
Saying that, what's it called? Who was he? Number Vikingo.
Oh yeah, he did. Did he get hurt or he just hasn't been wrestler?
Because he was number 10 last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he slipped down the card.
Yeah, he wrestled on AEW television.
Well, where is Tekashita? I can't say his name today. No, the
Takeshita.
Yeah, there you go. I'm saying it over here. Takeshita.
But you was mixing like 30 names together.
Right, because here's a problem because I've only heard his name from American people. Like I want to hear I want to hear a Japanese person pronounce his name so I can get the right pronunciation. Just like when they say Kazuchika Okada. I said his name is not Kazuchika Okada. It's Kachika. The U is usually like exaggerated and silent. So anytime
Okada.
Like that's like Shinsuke. Like there's a U in it. You know, it's not Shinsuke. It's Kachika.
Well, you somehow know the language. That's not fair.
But it doesn't matter, right? That's what I'm saying. So I need to know Takeshita. How do you pronounce it in the correct way? So I can be like
Takeshita. Isn't it Takeshita?
What's up, man?
Takeshita.
Takeshita versus Kazuki. I remember one time Brian just called him Kazuki. He said, what's his name? Kazuki Okada. I said, Brian, his name is Kachika.
I will study a name. Look, before I get it right. I remember when I couldn't say Hawaii, and I was sitting there. I would listen to Lance give the drop when he gave us the drop 12 years ago.
Yeah, he definitely because he's like I know why. I was like, yo, just take the time, bro. I know why. I'm looking at this.
He ranked 324.
324 is Lance. Oh, there he is. Lance in Hawaii. Now, this is probably going to trigger you, brother guy. Xavier Woods at 299. Now, this is a gentleman that you believe should be WWE World Champion. About Xavier Woods at 299. Do you think he deserved that 299? What's that? He's under Trent Seven, by the way.
Say it in content. He deserved to be WWE Champion as part of the New Day. Now, did I say last year he needed it? Because
not necessarily last year, but I'm still low.
Yeah, 299. That's probably he should be happy he got that ranking.
Okay, all right.
Because I mean, is Karrion Kross now, or is Karrion Kross like 399?
He's 312.
400.
312. He is just under. Get this is another Japanese individual. Yuichi Ishikawa. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
I don't feel like that's right.
It sounded pretty solid, right? And
that's good.
Just over Flip Gordon. I have not heard about. Now they got Channing Thomas from NXT, right? At 316, you have Kill Switch, aka Jurassic Park, aka Luchasaurus, at 317, and they have Shelton Benjamin at 318. No, I'm a Shelton Benjamin guy. My question is, how does Shelton Benjamin get to 318 when he was not on TV all year? No Hurt Business, no nothing.
Started hitting the indies.
He just got released though. He went on indies from August to July.
No, but he probably been working in secret or something. I mean, obviously I know he was at Ospreay, but yeah, he must
been working in secret.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with the list. It's like for some situations they make exceptions, and for some situations they don't. Like how is
sound like
Nick
the NFL
Nemeth?
to me?
Well, there's a lot of rigging going on. Nick Nemeth is at 22, but he just became Nick Nemeth now. He hasn't been Nick Nemeth for an entire year, has he?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm trying to say.
A year.
But it's like
Shelton was getting busy at Progress through May. New Japan, what's this? New NSPW Golden Opportunity, JCW, OPW, WWC.
Okay, so he's probably taking wins in all those places.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 wins in the ranking period. But he did go for the APC title in the triple threat match. Didn't win that one. Yeah, so that's the only thing I could say. But these aren't, no offense, but it's not like Progress is obviously a strong promotion, it's big top promotion in the UK. But
sure,
some of these is like, you know, we don't talk about. Well, he was in Australia and Canada, so like you said, exceptions for some, not for all.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so now this is a different. We've been talking about some established names. We've been talking about some names that are kind of like got hot recently. You know, a lot of twins. But now, if you look at 339, Zilla Fatu. Now we have a fresh face, right? That's pretty, you know, just getting his feet wet. How do you feel about him making a list at 339?
You know how I feel about Zilla.
I don't know. I see but here's the thing though. I don't know.
That's a safe place.
I don't know the criteria by which they're judging this though. You feel me? Like this guy's he's just making his rounds. So does that like the criteria is based off win-loss record, all these other things. And I'm like, well, does he fit the bill for all these things? Not saying he doesn't deserve to be there. You know, I'm not disrespecting family, but I'm saying like,
but Zilla looking at,
you feel me?
He got a lot of wins at GCW. That's where between there and reality wrestling. But he also built up a lot of those wins with Jacob. As I'm looking through,
yeah, bingo. Like he was tagging a lot of those. You know,
yeah, he built up a lot. But you know, or either Jacob or Nick Cage.
Yeah,
I mean Nick Gage. You know, so I mean, he, you know, that's where his. So I think also, you know, that's the part where the what was it, the prestige of the promotion, prominence within the wrestlers promotion. So, you know, and major feuds, quality of competition.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're not going to spend all night. We're going to probably discuss a few more, and then we're probably just going to wrap this up and go on about our business. But you look at Raj Deji, aka Jinder Mahal, at 351 over Ricky Starks at 352. Do you guys agree with that one?
Yeah, because Ricky disappeared.
Yeah, where is he?
Tony Khan said, "Oh, you wanted to show up at the Royal Rumble, huh? Sit your butt down."
I think Tony Khan made a business decision for one. Like that's the Vince McMahon way, right? Okay, you pretty much told me you're not leaving. All right, cool. We're not gonna put you on TV and put you over. We're gonna let that contract run out and let the rest of the fans forget about you. You think differently?
That's exactly what he did. I think it's just surprising because again, it's what you do. You know, you don't do the same for everybody, but I guess wrestling. Well, no, we know wrestling ain't that type of business where you know some people can hold you hostage, some people can't. You know, it's like Troy Aikman one time told a story. Michael Irvin came to practice hungover, and a bunch of other football players on the Dallas Cowboys was hungover. And he said the coach asked him, "What do you?" He had Barry Swister's first year. He said, "You keep this one, you cut that one, you cut that one." They all did the same thing, but again, prominence.
So of course you got your boy on there. Jay Bougie at 378.
Yes, sir. And shout out to him because he wrestled a lot of tag matches this year. You know, and you know, kind of, you know, this is the year. This is when he became a father. So, you know, the bookings obviously was a little bit more selective.
Oh yeah, that's true. Obviously, yeah. Dustin Rhodes at 393. Old Goldie, the natural.
I mean, yeah, I expect a higher number out of him next year.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it would have been higher this year.
But yeah, next year I think because he just racked up those titles. What the ROH Trios title, I think.
Yeah, a tag.
With the Von Erichs.
Yeah, now he has been like this is, and I say this about Tony Khan. This is what makes him a human being in the every sense of the word. Is like, you know, most recently, like the Goldust was kind of arguing with fans on social media about like, don't approach people or wrestle like treat them like they're a jobber. Like, no, have some respect for them. They're enhancement talent. That's just what they do. Like, you know, but of course everybody doesn't want to be that, but he's like, but you need to respect their craft because there's an art to what they do, and that's just the role they play in the bigger mic. And it just seems like ever since he said that or had that moment, because he has done quite a few jobs for people. You know what I mean? He's been that veteran in the ring, but ever since then he's been on a hot streak lately. And I'm like, that sounds like a Tony Khan. Like, you know what? I appreciate you having someone that's like on, so that way your job guys don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, look, man, we try to be stars, we're not stars, but there is a place for us on the team. It's just as enhancement talent. Let's go out there and do our job better than anybody else. And they're not to be, you know, good. That was Dustin Runnels' whole thing. With like, don't disrespect these guys because you see them lose on TV every week. These are some of the most respected guys in the business on the other side. You know what I mean?
Al Snow.
Yeah,
one of the best trainers. You know, you saw that show. I don't know if y'all watched that show, The Wrestlers, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Shout out to Layla Gray. Check out my interview with her on Wrestling for the Culture in the playlist. But you know, she was on there. Her and you know, Luke Curtis, her fiance. But like Al Snow, somebody who you know, even in Mick Foley's book, he was it was an inside joke. He kept making jokes about how Al Snow never beat him. But
wow.
You know, we all remember what does everybody want? Head. And you know, Leif Cassidy was horrible. But when you go back and look at it, like him, Bill DeMott, Albert, like these people have, regardless, obviously Bill DeMott did a lot of, horrible things, but these people have trained a lot of wrestlers to get to where they go to. So like you said, you don't know what they mean on the other side of the curtain. And you see it in the producers now.
Right. Yeah. So as we wind down this list, there's a few now. Look at that. Journey Fatu made the list. We got another Bloodline member.
You saw they had one of them posted a lady.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
I was waiting. I thought there was going to be more to that story, but I guess not.
Oh no, I was just saying they wanted like somebody else who was playing a sport.
Oh,
and it was like, somebody else, a lady in the family. It was like, I think it was, I don't know if it was Solo and it was two. It might have been Jacob and somebody, and it was like everybody was saying, "Here they go, they waiting. WWE about to get her next."
It was a cousin or something, and they said if that don't work out, you know what's next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's the way they train. Go play your sport.
They make them go to college.
Yeah, go to college. Like he said, they said with Solo, they made him go to college. He came back with the paper. Said we couldn't give him talk. Now we can't give him to shut up. But you got to go to school. If you got a sport you like, you go play that to the maximum you can get to. I'm pretty sure like Roman had NFL aspirations, but boom, wrestling's in his blood.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's certain things is in the blood, but like how do you have a list and where's Roman?
He's not on there. He only had 2 matches. Well, no, not 2 matches this year. But
here's the conflict for me. Wrestling business is not about wrestling, right? It hasn't been for a long time. But it's like, how do you not make an exception when it comes to judging a list? Like it's about drawing, right? It's about the biggest, because old school guys will say, we've had I don't know if we've had the conversation or the debate, but it comes down to that people say things like, okay, well, what makes the best professional wrestler? No, matter of fact, I'm sorry, I heard this conversation. You guys are gonna enjoy this. I was catching up watching My World with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's podcast with Godfather Conrad.
That's a good history lessons with that. I can't watch it all the time because some of the stuff bores me, but it's a lot of great
getting into it. I just started getting into it. And he asked Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett didn't want to answer the question. He said, Jeff Jarrett, tell me the truth. What makes the best wrestler? And I want you to answer too, brother guy. What makes the best wrestler? He said the guy that gets in the ring and does the best wrestling moves, has the best skill set, or the guy that can do 2 moves, but yet draws a house, sells pay-per-views and so and all this other thing. And Jeff Jarrett was like, he was kind of like twisting and shaking his head. He's like, look, I'm from old school. Whoever brings in the biggest house, puts the most butts in the seats, sells the most merchandise, that's the best wrestler in the world. And they were like, well, listen, but when it comes down to hoes and grapples and all those things, what makes the best wrestler in the world? You got Roman. Sure, he had 2 matches, but if you look at his impact over this time period, doesn't it not trump everybody on this list?
I think that's the problem.
Like,
because it's so true.
You feel me? So it's like, well, what difference if he had 2? But he was the smartest one out of 500 people on his list. It's because he had 2 matches and he draw more money than all of them and made more money than everybody. Probably combined on this list. No disrespect. Like
the only person who I was gonna say maybe Cody, and that's because he drew with him.
But Cody just started drawing it. Think about it. After WrestleMania, he probably started drawing the same amount.
I saw something that said Roman was probably making this. I don't know if this is true or not. This is what I saw. They said Roman was making 15 million this year. Cody was making 10. Seth Rollins was making 9. Somebody else was making 9.
Sean Ross said that it's not true just because he said they don't like those numbers don't really get out.
They don't, you know what I mean? But if you look at the ballpark figures of, hey, this is potentially what it may look like, even if it's not those numbers, would it not be on the same scale, right? Roman would be at a 15, Cody would be at a 10. It doesn't have to be 15 and 10. It could be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
14,
it could be 15 and 12, 5 or something. I'm more interested in the royalties, not the royalties, but their bonuses and those checks, because let's call it what it is. Yeah, you can be getting that salary. Let's say they making 15 mil, but then Roman getting a $1 million check every other month. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm interested in because he getting that, and then you got a wrestler like somebody on TikTok talking about, I'm gonna royalty check for $300. You know, you hear it, you're like, oh, okay, so they are paying on a regular basis in addition to. That's what I'll be more interested in. What does that look like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because if he can make the same amount, whether he on the marquee for the PLE or if he's on SmackDown, let him. That's fine. But remember, my stance is we want to see him. Like, we just wanted to see him, and that to me. I think that's why they kept him off the list, because if you put him on the list, it'd have been a debate of why is he not number one? Why is he number two? Why is he number five? Why is Roman anywhere but number one? Because they had to give it to the person that we have seen, and that's who, not seen, but the one that had the biggest wrestling impact, to answer your question, overall total package, because Roman is he surpassed all that.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't get Brand start. Konosuke Takeshita. Okay, I just saw his full name. I knew it. It was coming. I tried to move forward, and I knew that was gonna happen.
Greatest of all time.
Still the wrong music. That's such the wrong music.
No,
that's That's not the OCC music.
No, not yet. Not yet. You got to win the match with it.
Needs more metal.
He said it
needs more metal.
You can't say my line. You got to say it like, it needs more metal. The more eyeliner.
I'm kind of thinking it needs more metal,
When you come back, we're going to give you eyeliner and metal. Or leather jacket. Rip it up a little. Put some spikes on it. There you go.
Leather jacket with the jean jacket vest. So, it worked for MJF. Anyways.
I got a question for y'all.
Yeah, go ahead. Spill the beans.
Next year, will Cody repeat?
It depends on what. I'm a fight that a little. I think it depends on what happens at the Rumble.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now, isn't this where they start measuring, right? So if it ends, the measure is from for what? August 2023 to July 2024. So that means from what? August 2024 to July 2025, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're checking right now.
And the only reason I'm saying that, think about the Rumble is kind of the standard bearer for that year. Not right now. What happens at the Rumble shapes our year, and that's what we probably.
Season,
you get what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it, for all, like, no matter what happens, we all judge it by the road to WrestleMania, because we're all excited about what's going to happen in Mania and then getting us to SummerSlam. Or I should say post-Mania portion of it, because that's why I think we got to wait to see, because who knows? Joe Hendry could do something crazy, and now he'd be number one.
That was literally the name I was looking at as I asked that question, because I was like, well, he has a lot of momentum now. He's got an unprecedented deal, and he's probably going to show up more places than everywhere. And I planned on doing a Reynolds reacts about Joe Hendry. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it now, but I'm like, one of the takes I was going to say on that show was, there's no way in the world he does not show up at the Royal Rumble. You kidding me? I almost guarantee you'll hear Joe Hendry's theme at Royal Rumble.
They already extended his music for him, so they figured out, because I was like, that's going to be a problem. His music always ended because, TNA ramp is only this big, and then he would be right there in the ring. They extended his music for that. He said, we got WWE EU up a little bit, brother, and they figured it out. So he's going to appear at the Rumble.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, all these people getting their TNA trial. I mean, their WWE trials are working trial.
Yeah, I think Cody will repeat as number one now. Only person I can see past him is Gunther.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if he draws. This is the confusing part. Gunther is well on his way, and you're absolutely right. But it's like, well, I keep forgetting that they're probably not taking their drawing power into consideration when it's this. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, if that was the case, Roman will be number one, whether he's there or not. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So what we're looking at now is they've already started for next year. But we're probably going to have this conversation again next year. They've already moved forward, and you said you think pretty much Cody repeats, right?
Yeah, that's my goal.
Who do you think probably takes the biggest dive?
Daniel Bryan.
That's a good question.
Daniel Bryan. Because I think once he drops the AEW title, he disappears for a little while.
Yeah, he probably will. That might be a pretty easy.
Well, that's the stipulation. So I'm gonna go in a different route. Moose or Samoa Joe
to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Take the biggest drop. Okay.
I just think there's gonna be other wrestlers that's gonna climb up.
Yeah. Well, one, Samoa Joe's not getting any younger. That's one. Where do you guys think Bronson Reed's going to end up when it's all said and done? He's going
to be higher, and I think I take it back. Swerve's going to have the biggest drop.
Ooh. Oh wow. Okay. Now
because he's number 2. He's probably going to be 25 or something. He's going to drop. He's going to drop, and he's probably going to drop the most.
Wow.
Because I don't think Tony could. After that match they just had, that was the bookend. And if you look at it,
relevant after that.
I don't think, exactly. Unless you put the title back on him, I don't think AEW is going to. What you going to give him the international title? Nope, that's title with Ricochet and what you call it. You going to give him the Continental and let him go after Okada? Okada not wrestling. He chilling. No. Like, what you going to do with him?
You going
to let him go to ROH and if you go to ROH
and watching Mercedes dance?
Yeah, like if you think about it, I think Swerve, and I hate to say it because he deserves that spot, but I don't think he's going to be. He's going to probably be also.
So you think AEW has jumped the shark with Swerve? Like, hey, look, this is as good as it's going to get. Fonzie jumps the shark on Happy Days. I don't think we got anything else better than this, unless Hangman like burns down to like something else.
No, what did you say on the show? No, that wasn't you. That was Channel said they got to kill each other. That's the only way it ends in murder. I mean, they pretty much tried to kill each other. You powerbomb me on a center block. Yeah, that's trying to break somebody's back. That's not even protected at this. And then we still don't know what did they explain what they injected him with? Because I didn't watch Wednesday.
No,
I knew
I didn't finish watching.
I knew they wasn't going to follow up with it.
In his face, I said, "Yep, I'm not doing this."
Yeah, I mean, good old. I knew they wasn't going to follow up to anything. So
got my man Wardlow at 246. Okay, I'm still looking at this list, and I'll be looking at this for a while. It just, I don't know. Like we had the discussion, we talked about it. We all agreed that Cody was unanimous, number 1, well deserved. Swerve Strickland at number 2, obviously. Will Ospreay's been having a good year. Seth freaking Rollins, we kind of believe probably should be at number 3.
You're not going to talk about Alex Kane? I'm surprised you didn't say number Alex Kane at number 25.
Who?
MLW, Alex Kane. MLW has definitely made him in the conversation.
Former champion.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alex Kane. I thought you said Lexus King. I'm like, who? Lexus King?
No, he's cooled off now. But I'm saying, like, last year this time, that's when Jacob Fatu dropped the title, and it was like, okay, he became that next spotlight person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did he have a better year than LA Knight at 27?
Yes, because remember, LA Knight was in that. Okay, he had Roman feud, then we forgot about him. Then he had LA Knight. He just got hot again. Think about it.
Yeah. It's Mustafa Ali, 19. He made top 20 this year after leaving WWE. I think he's doing great. I like what I've been seeing from him on the independent circuit, but we'll be here all day talking about this. Shout out to Prince Nana for beginning manager of the year. He's number 1 on the managers list. I couldn't find the managers list. I got to dive into the actual magazine so we can get that list as well, but it's not as publicly shown. But they said Prince Nana was number 1 manager. You guys agree with that as well? Well deserved.
I thought that was just them just talking. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. There's a manager's list. Okay, cool.
Also, shout out to a good friend of the program, my fellow quartet buddy, Caprice Coleman.
Oh yeah, yep.
Number 2 on the broadcast list.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, number 2, Nigel.
Who is number with the Nigel McGuinness is trying to get back to be an active wrestler. You guys,
man, he said I still got it. He said I still got it,
bro. He waited a decade plus to get cleared. He's like, I'm cleared now.
He knew what he was doing. He in the right place to get back in the ring.
I think a lot of people just kind of forgot about his situation. Like he's generations removed. So,
oh yeah,
they're like, we don't care about that. So like I said, what about the Hot 100? The Hot 100 tag team list. Who's the number one tag team? Anybody know?
That's not out yet, is it? Or
I don't know. I just been hearing it. I just been trying to keep up with it all. So I was like, well, maybe what's
the tag team is a whole separate magazine.
Okay. All right.
They probably gonna give it to the Judgment Day though.
Oh,
yeah, probably. That's I don't see why not.
The other side.
Are you getting back into quartet music? Because you could just let that rip.
The other side.
I know one thing. Guess what? We on the other side of this show because we have sat here and we hope that you enjoyed this conversation about this year's 34th annual PWI 500 list. It's always debatable. It's always a good conversation. We have our opinions about this, and we'll probably continue this conversation for a while. But what's some of your opinions? Please like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know what you thought about this year's PWI 500. Congratulations to every wrestler whose name is on this list. I know it's a big deal. Like you can pretend like it doesn't bother you and it doesn't matter, but it really, really does. So shout out to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Shout out to you, good brothers. We have done it once again. You know, the Realm, this is what we do. We like to engage in conversation as well as educate people and then just, let them feel comfortable to give their opinions and talk about these things like we have some sense. But if you do have sense, follow us on all social media platforms. And that's wrong. Wrong one.
I was like, he about to promote it, so like go back and watch the realness. No, put it back up. Talk about it. Go back, put it back up there. I got you. I got you, realness. And after this show, please go over to www.youtube.com/4sidesofthering and check out the realness as he appeared on 4 Sides of the Ring, and he gave these brothers. He was the 4th side of the ring that night. He gave these brothers some insight. The superior wrestling intellect of the realness was on showcase that night. So if you get a chance, go back and watch it. Because guess what? This was the start of the Realness World Tour. It begins. Where should the next stop be? Is it on your podcast or is it on mine? Who knows? Stay tuned to the Wrestling Realm for more details to come.
Brown H, we got to get him back in broadcast. You hear this guy? He's been firing on all cylinders. He's trying to get back into the mix. But yes, I had a great time on 4 Sides of the Ring. Shout out to those brothers. They get a bad rap. I enjoy those brothers. I said, no, you guys aren't haters at all. You guys are realists.
And you still didn't say who your favorite was. That's fine. That's what that show. That's the show when you.
Who says I didn't say it? You just don't know.
Hollywood. You got a tag team partner. That's your heel tag team partner. TRDA is your heel tag team partner. He turned heel not once, but twice. He did a Dominic Mysterio. He was heel, and then he turned even more heel. But
trying to draw a little bit of money. Funny doesn't make money. So
make kids look. Make kids. What do you say? Make kids mad or make kids grow? What do you say?
Gotta do? If you're heel and you can't make kids mad, or he said if you can't make kids mad and sell T-shirts, you don't have a chance to being a wrestler. But yeah, shout out to the 4 Sides of the Ring. Shout out to you, brothers. Follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at the Wrestling Realm. Follow Championship Culture _ on Instagram. Pay attention. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. YouTube.com/the Wrestling Realm. Championship Culture Season 3 will be underway September 17th. Stay close to the social media platforms for any updates, new teasers, all that and more. Gentlemen, any last words before we get out of here?
Every belt has a story.
Well, we knew you were going to say that, Brian H.
No, but go check out my reaction to the anniversary of the Intercontinental Championship. I did my top 5 Intercontinental champions of all time. So it's available on the 200 and something episode of Break It Down with Brian H.
Bro, you got to give us the thumbnail so we can advertise. Like people want to see this or hear a clip or something. You don't be giving us no tidbits, nothing.
Because I forgot about it.
No, it's okay.
Sir, wait till Hugh gets a hold of you because you know what he's going to say. That should have been on season 3 of Championship Culture. But I'm going to say that for Hugh. I'm going to say that for Hugh to come after you.
Producer talk.
It was the anniversary. Y'all was off. And I saw the anniversary day. It was 45 years. I said, oh, snap. I fired up the mic. I set up the camera and I fired it up and I got to going. I got to work right away. Boom.
Have you heard of special episodes? Oh, you haven't? Okay. Because we had a bonus episode.
No, y'all would have took. I saw it. I had to get it going. Move fast.
Well, you wait till Hugh gets you. I'm just gonna let him.
And I'll give you the leg drop that I gave him in 7th grade. Boom, 1, 2, 3.
You know, I wish my producer was here to defend himself.
He can't. He know what happened.
Oh, Hugh. I'll call him for you, you dead gump. Stop being a gump.
We gotta go home.
You know what
He definitely gotta go home. We appreciate you all hanging with us as usual. Please join us next week. Follow us in all the places that you know to follow us. Have a blessed week. Enjoy yourselves. And wrestling fans, stay wrestling fans. Is that a new thing I should start saying? Tell wrestling fans to stay wrestling fans. Be cool. Mm-hmm. We're out of here. Peace out. Wait a minute. I don't have where's the outro at? I almost played the intro. We out. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!